Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Cheng Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Dorshi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, Amugabhasa Avalokitesvara. Sumo, Tanchen Katsu, Tupten City, Tupten Kama, all Dharma masters, Dharma lecturers, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma teaching assistants, temple and center directors, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon. How do you do?
Hola amigo, que quiero mucho. Scoin, Ichiba, Kimochi, Jumi, Yapi, Pirin Pirin, Konnichiwa.
I would like to announce, to let everyone know, for next Sunday, February 23rd at 3 p.m. there will be Golden Mother Homa fire offering ceremony. Her mudra is the Tara mudra. Her mantra. The sixth syllable is white. Golden Mother. You all know about Golden Mother, that she is the yidam of Grandmaster Lu's awakening, the very beginning. Almost all Taoist practices there is this phrase going to the peak of Mount Kunlun, to climb up to the peak of Mount Kunlun to attain the banquet of the jade pond, the primordial jade pond. Those refer to Golden Mother. So that's the same as changing, being reborn again, a newborn. So things that mundane people form is the mundane womb. It would go descending to give birth to a human. That's called the womb state. And then if you go against the flow, you ascend, then there would be the state of sagehood. That's in Taoism. So if you go with the flow descending, then you're giving birth to a human. But if you go against the flow and ascending, then you become a celestial sage. You give birth, so you're being reborn as a celestial sage. Master Lian He asked me how to practice the mind. It's really difficult to describe. It's something very difficult to explain. Why? Extremely difficult. 5,000 years of Chinese culture, those who practice sagehood and practice alchemy, there were uncountable people practicing Taoist alchemy. Just the Tao Sutras that we can see is the same. There are 12 divisions of Chinese of Taoist scriptures, and then inside them there are countless scriptures. There are authentic ones and also fake ones. So that's why spiritual cultivation is truly a very difficult thing. There are many scriptures that I have read myself in Taoism for the inner alchemy practices. I have read, and also outer alchemy practices, and also return alchemy practices I have also read. In sum, anything being born from going with the flow, descending, that's called the state of mundane womb or mundanity. And then if you go against the flow, that's the sagehood. And then once you form the Dhan, then you can return it to Niwan. And then when you leave, then you can, it's called climbing up the Mount Kunlun, and became the celestial sage. And then in the list of sages, it would include your name. So in Taoism, there are the northern school and southern school. In the northern school, that was of Wang Chongyang and Qian Zhen. It's written in the Jin Yong novels. So Jin Yong just make use of the stories to create the Kung Fu novels, but actually they are truly cultivators with attainments. The Qian Zhen was from Sun Bu-er, who practiced the same as the Bhiksuni temple. So that's why the northern school was called the Qian Zhen. Banner Qiu Changchun, Qiu Chuji, Ma Yi, Ma Dan Yang, Sun Bu-er. Those are all mentioned in the Kung Fu novels, martial art novels, but they are true cultivators, and they belong to the solitary spiritual cultivation. So a pure cultivation, which is about the same as ordained monastics. And the southern patriarchs is by Haidan, the true master person, Liu Haidan. And then the lineage down to Ziyang, the Master Ziyang, Zhang Guoduan, and then transmitted to 5. So they're the 5 leaders of the Southern School. Like Chen Xi, and then the Taoist Master Holong, they belong to the Southern School. And there are also others, the Eastern School, Western School, and Qingchen School, Wudang School, Zhang Sangfeng, Master Zhang Sangfeng. They are all sages. And the Qingchen School, Qingchen Zhangren, the leader. And then Liu Yang School, Wu Zhongxi, and Liu Huayang. Wu Zhongxi and Liu Huayang. Those were Taoist cultivators. They asked me about the Dan and Jing, and I've been done sutras or scriptures, and I've read since youth till old age, and I've practiced a few. If you can practice until you reach immortality or youthfulness, how do you practice this? It's by pure yang. You need to practice until you reach complete yang. And that's the same as Tantric Buddhism. If you attain fruition in your non-leakage light drops practices, then you have become complete or pure yang. But you also need to know how to transport them. You to transform the essence into qi, and from qi into spirit. And then the spirit has to return to the nothingness. So the essence transform into qi, qi transform into spirits, spirits return to the roots, to the source, to the nothingness, and then you become celestial sage. Now you can understand the concept, but how do you put that into practice? There are many scriptures about alchemy, Taoist alchemy, many of them, many of them. But you need to encounter a true teacher to teach you in order for you to understand it. You want to practice the pure yang? How? Actually, according to Taoism, the man is yang outside and yin inside, but for the woman, it's yin on the outside and yang inside. So you need to obtain the outer yang of the man combined with the inner yang of the woman in order to reach the pure yang. Like in my non-leaking light drops practice, I have attained fruition. I relied on the Sakya 6 transformations postures, a sun and moon looking up, and press on the Adam's apple, and exhale all the up chi, and then pull in the abdomen. So the 2 eyes looking up, and the tip of the tongue touching the palate, to connect the bridge and to press on the Adam's apple. Exhale all the apple chi, and then the abdomen press on the back, and then lift up the anus. So the light drops will not leak. But there's no use to keep them inside. So you need to practice the qi. So where did qi come from? From inhalation and exhalation, from your breathing. So it relies on your inhalation to the lower dantian, and then exhale. So the exhalation is equal to the inhalation. That's called taking in the air. So the breathing of normal people is only up to the throat. And then you breathe out, at most to the lungs. And then you breathe it out. But true breathing has to reach the lower dantian, for sure. Definitely has to reach the lower dantian, and that's called the three burners. The lower burner is the lower dantian, the middle burner is the middle dantian, and the upper burner is the upper dantian. And you need to transport the light drops that you have accumulated using the qi to transport it up to the upper dantian. And then from the upper dantian to Niwan, and that's called climbing to Mount Kunlun, and then to attend the Golden Mother's Primordial Ponds banquet, and then you would be registered in the list of sages. That's Taoist spiritual cultivation. It's interconnected to tantric practices. In the beginning, also starts with non-leaking light drops in Tantrayana. And then the divine celestial water descends, the inner fire ascends, and what they transport is the light drops. And then the light drops transforming into qi by the use of inner fire, using the inner fire to burn it. And then the celestial divine water descends, and the two of them open all the 5 chakras inside the body. And in Taoism, it's called the major universal circulation and the minor circulation. So for the transport. And in Tantrayana, it's called transporting the inner fire and light drops to open the 5 chakras. That's the concept. But how do you transport it? How do you inhale? How do you take in the air? If you truly have attainment in your non-leaking practice of light drops, you still need to. Do you know how to make use of inner fire to burn the light drops to become qi, which is the so-called the essence transforming into qi? Do you know how to do that? That's the difficult part. So the essence or semen has to be transformed into qi, and qi transformed into spirit. And in Taoism, it's called forming the womb of a sage. And then you transform it to the crown, to Niwan, the peak of the crown. And then you're being reborn and get up to the Mount Kunlun. And then you're attending the banquet at the primordial jet pond. That's Taoist spiritual cultivation. And Tantric spiritual cultivation is you use inner fire or tumo to burn the light drops, and also transporting it, the same transporting, and to combine, to blend with the celestial divine water, to open the 5 chakras, to emit the 5 colored lights, and then transform into rainbow light. So the same in Tantrayana, ultimately the practice of the chi channels and light drops are the same. Those are the principles, the theory. That's the theory. But do you have a guru or teacher who would teach you how to transport it? You have to find the teacher. It's really very difficult to find a true a skilled guru, but there are many lesser or fake teachers around. And then if you encounter the lesser or fake teachers, then that's it. That would be the end. You would not have any attainments in your cultivation. Of this, there are many postures, like the so-called taking in the air is to ask you to practice in true breathing. So taking in the air is breathing, and you have to breathe in until the lower dantian before you exhaling. Second, swallowing saliva. By placing the tip of your tongue at the upper palate, the saliva would naturally flow, and then you use the tongue to swish it around, and then you follow it. That's called it's called the jade saliva of the glorious pond. The pond refers to the mouth, and the jade saliva refers to saliva that can flow to all your organs and to purify your body. And you exhale all the dirty qi, and you inhale the pure, clean air or qi. So for spiritual cultivation, if you do it in Taiwan or Taichung, what we breathe in is all PM 2.5. And very fast you would go to the Western paradise or die. The air in Seattle is very good. It's a good place to practice breathing. So when you wake up in the morning, you breathe out all the bad air and breathe in all the fresh, pure air. And then you swallow saliva so that all the internal organs would be nourished with hormones. So just do these 2 parts first. Breathing, taking in the air, and then swallowing saliva, and then igniting the inner fire to burn the light drops and the non-leaking light drops with the Sakya 6 postures transformation. It's been taught very clearly, and I've mentioned it in my Lamde exposition that you can see and learn. Inside Lamde, there's a very famous translator, 卓米意思 Jogmi Loksawa,
印度，他到
Jogmi
印度
Lotsawa, who went to India
后
to study and coming back
教大家
taught the Sakya 6
我依
transformation postures
去修，
to all.
结果我
And I practiced it accordingly and I attained fruition. I have attainment in this practice.
修成了。但是要
Once I
搬运
have attainment, you still need to know how to transport
非
it.
常困难，
And
师父教你
it's very difficult to do
分你要做什么事情，
without a guru teaching you to do what at what time.
然后他要教你，你如
And the
何
guru have to teach you how to
下了一个明点，把自己变成纯阳， 纯阳就是地
to transform ourselves to become pure or complete yang from the light drops, and then you would become the earthly sage, and you would reach longevity and rejuvenation. So although you're old, you still look like a child,
走路也是像在飞一样，
and you still walk like you're flying very lightly. So that's called earthly sage.
你可以长寿啊。
You can live a long life. So
那你成
ageless and
你已经结胎，
live a long life.
没了内丹了，
So once it's already incredible to become an earthly sage,
在培养，
you have formed the inner alchemy,
翻译到
formed the sagehood state. And then when you transport it up to the Niwan,
叫做李纯阳，
then it would be like Li Dongpin, who became Li Chunyang.
他是唐朝
His family name actually
姓李，李
was not Li, but he was a descendant of the
之后啊，
Tang dynasty's royalty. When Wu Zetian became the empress
家的
of the Tang dynasty, she killed all the descendants of the Li clan.
改姓李，
And so Li Dongping ran away and changed his last name into Li.
本来是姓李，李子的李啦，
Originally it was Li,
李啊，
Li, and it became another Li,
好的
a different character.
翻
But he was actually a descendant of the Tang dynasty's royalty.
遇到
But he
前
saw
教
through the mundanity and encountered Dong Li Tian, who taught him
纯阳，
the alchemy practices, and then he changed his name into Li Chunyang.
他遇到钟离前，
So he met Zhong Li Quan. He was very fortunate, and he became one of the 8 sages, the patriarch Li Dongbin, Li or Li Chunyang, Li Dongbin, the patriarch Li.
所以这个当然每一个人都说神仙是很好，
Of course, everyone says that it's nice to be a sage. I thought about it. Earthly sage,
大楼天天
a human sage, and then celestial human sage, earthly sage, celestial sage, and golden sage, or the great universal
地表
golden sage, which is Golden Mother.
这个天地
And you go attend the banquet at the primordial Jade Pond, and then the emperor, the Jade Emperor, would enthrone you as a certain sage,
不过在这现在目前在这世
give
界
you
上
the sagehood name.
修这个神仙的真的是
But on earth now, it's very few who truly practice to become sagehood. And Grandmaster encountered one under the leadership of the Qingzhen school,
啊清真道的
which is the Venerable monk Liao Ming,
传授我一些，
who transmitted to me
他
some
年纪
practices.
大，
At that time, he was already old.
年纪已经很大了，
he was already in his old age and transmitted some stuff to me, some practices to me. But practicing them, I was halfway and I became a tantric practitioner. Why? Because although you have attainment in the non-leaking light drops, and so the semen cannot be turbid. It has to be pure and transparent. It has to use inner fire. That's why I practice tantric. Because to transform the turbid or impure semen into the pure, clear semen is very difficult. It's not bad that I can live to be 80. It's really not bad already. By practicing this. So even if you have non-leakage light drops, but if the turbid semen went to the bladder instead, then you would be sick. So you have to transform the turbid essence into the pure essence. Like in our body, it's like distilling or processing mercury. Mercury is poisonous. So your turbid essence is also poisonous. So mercury is poisonous, but according to Hinduism, in Hinduism, there's Ayurveda. And Ayurveda, you can train or process poisonous mercury into a pure, poison-free mercury. So it's the same as a human practicing their body. You need to transform the turbid, impure essence, just like the poisonous mercury, and then transform it into the pure essence in order or before you're transporting them, like up to the knee one, to become the pure yang. There needs to be a method. You cannot find a true guru to teach this. So our tantric practices, we use inner fire to transform your turbid essence into pure essence. Once it's pure, then you can transport it, and then to open the 5 chakras and transform into clear light radiance, and then transform into rainbow light and attain Buddhahood. That's an attainment. That's an attainment. So simply, I would like to talk about this because I finished explaining Vimalakirti Sutra. So just chatting. And then if you have any opinions, which sutra Grandmaster should continue, you can tell us, just wait. So in performing Amugabhasa Avalokitesvara, she's holding 4 things, 4 Dharma implements. She's holding the mala beads. The mala beads is for Bardo deliverance. By calling on her name, she can guide to the Pure Land. One hand holding lotus, which is lotus birth, signifying lotus birth, eradicating karma. One hand holding a nectar vase, and those with karma, with the nectar poured from the vase, would be purified, and then you would be born out of lotus. And the mala can also guide to the Pure Land, calling her name too. And lasso is you can bind good things in and to throw away bad things out. Or you can even use the lasso to bind someone to be reborn in the Pure Land. So whatever you ask for is returning non-empty, all wishes fulfilled. So for this deity, many people become primary supplicants. This is one of the most, because the key is that all wishes will be fulfilled. Now we'll do Q&A. Question from Lianhua Xiao Tan from Taiwan. Your disciple Lianhua Tan Tan would like to ask our master, the Dragon King Mandala water liberation stone. This originates from the Dharma teaching transmitted by Padmasambhava, specifically meant to liberate and benefit the dragon clan and all aquatic beings. It's called the Dragon King Mandala in Water Liberation Mantra Tablet, where the Mandala mantra of the Dragon King and the body, speech, and mind liberation mantras to be engraved on a stone tablet, which is then placed in oceans, rivers, lakes, or other bodies of water. Wherever the flowing water reaches, all the aquatic beings can be liberated. The merits and benefits of this mandala is similar to that of the Dragon King treasure vase. So, Dragon Kings are Dharma protectors who once made vows before the Buddha to uphold the Dharma and protect those who practices. By offering them sacred treasures such as the Dragon King treasure vase and aspire to be enlightened, they can recall their original vows, generate great joy, protect the land, dispel disasters, increase wealth and longevity, and bring harmonious weather and national peace. It is truly an extraordinary, supreme practice. So the mantra mentioned on the Dragon King Mandala Water Liberation Stone Tablet, is it the heart mantra of the Dragon King? What are the patterns on the mandala? Are there fixed designs? Is it necessary to receive empowerment for the Dragon King Yidam practice to perform this practice? Or the Dragon King treasure vase practice is good enough? Let him ask the Dharma brother Xiao Guang from California, because he specializes in this Dragon King mantra stone tablets. He placed them everywhere, and he asked people to place them. If you have helped him, raise your hand. For like lakes, oceans around Seattle, rivers, he placed those stone tablets everywhere, and also in California and everywhere. That's Dharma brother Xiao Guang from California. Do you have it on you? Did you help him place this? He gave me this. There are many colors, and this is only one of them. This is a dragon stone with mantras and drawing on it. So this question should be asked of Dharma brother Xiao Guang from California. He would know best because he said that he belongs to the dragon clan. That's what he said. So he made many of these dragon stones and placed them in every lakes, and then the dragon king would appear and thank him, and many dragon kings appearing in the sky following him. Dharma brother Xiao Guang from California. And he could also see Grandmaster, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. He often stood up and provided testimony. Anybody else has this? I think he gave to many people, not just Master Lianzi. Anybody has helped him place the stones in the water? You have? No, I just place it at home. You place it on your bathtub? In your bathtub. Anybody raise the hand? Please stand up. Give the microphone to them. Homage to Grandmaster. And Dharma brother Xiao Guang asked the Rainbow Temple to many that mantra tablets, many help the dragon kings burn the just money paper. Anybody help him place the stone tablets in the bodies of water? Anyone here? Give them the microphone. Just now. I helped him place it in Taiwan. I got one from Taiwan. I placed it in the Sun and Moon Lake in Taiwan. So she placed it in the Sun and Moon Lake. Okay, thank you. So someone helped him place it in Taiwan. Anyone else? Now I'm asking you to speak up and you don't dare to. Dharma brother Xiao Guang had a very good brother Xu Guoseng who helped him spread this dragon king tablets. And Zulian also placed, there's a small lotus pond, and Dharma brother Guoseng placed one there and said that's affinity with the Dharma brother Xiao Guang. So there's the pond inside your temple. Also place this dragon stone. Homage to Grandmaster in the beginning. It's the first time in front of Grandmaster and all Dharma masters and reference, so I didn't dare to say. It's not that I helped that Dharma brother, but my Dharma brother and myself, my husband and myself, knew about this Dharma, about Dragon King. So we made a lot of these dragon tablets at home. When we lived in New Zealand for 5 years, so wherever we went around, when there's ocean, river, or any body of water, then I placed them there. So the whole New Zealand from north to south. Yeah, the northern and the southern islands, we place those dragon stones. But in Vietnam, we haven't traveled that much. But in New Zealand, it's very easy. We have our own car, so we drove around wherever water, rivers, or lakes or ocean, then we would place them there. So she translated Grandmaster's books into Vietnamese. So today I would like to share with Grandmaster and everybody. So there are dragon kings in New Zealand too. There's this joke. Here's this joke. Primarily talking about China. I just treat it as a joke. Who owns the sun? China. Because since ancient time, during Ho-yi time, there were 10 suns, and he shot 9 of them down, and only 1 left for China. And the moon, of course, also belongs to China. That's the home of Chang'e. Otherwise, where would Chang'e live? So China has occupied the moon long ago. Chang'e did. And then there's also Wukang and the jade rabbit, and the moon goddess Chang'e often appeared in the moon. And the stars, of course, belong to China too. Why? Otherwise, how about the weaving girl? She's living in the stars. And the whole sky, of course, belongs to China. It's China's. And talking about the Dragon King, the South Sea, of course, is China's. Because Guan Yin is in the South Sea. Otherwise, where would she live? And Isi, of course, is China's. Otherwise, the Dragon King of the Eastern Sea, where would he live? So, and the Dragon Kings of the North, South, East, and West. So under the heaven is also China's, and even America too. And do you know that the American Indians originated from the Mongolians? So the Native Americans came from Mongolia, passing through the Strait of Bering to the American continents, all the way to the South America. So all belongs to China. So sorry to the non-Chinese or Westerners. It's just a joke. However, Native Americans are descendants of the Mongolians, Easterns. So that's why all Americans are the immigrants. Talking about a Dragon King tablet stone tablet. 从棉花小 from Taiwan. Why don't you go ask Lotus Xiaoguang from California? We've talked about it a lot, that this is the drawing and the mantra. You asked me to explain, and this is the drawing. You just ask him for it. He would definitely give it to you if you ask him. And someone wants to speak over there. Amitabha Grandmaster. Dharma brother Xiaoguang, I've also helped to offer to the Dragon Kings at the Potomac River in the state of Washington, D.C. In Washington, D.C. And then also here, Lake Washington, Lake Sammamish, and also in Panama, and Australia, Sydney. And then also will be in Malaysia. They're incredible, and thank you for Grandmaster's blessing. So the more we talk about it, the more they are. Like this Lotus Tantan from Taiwan can just ask Dharma brother Xiaoguang from California. He would give you many of these dragon stones, tablets, and you can place them in any small rivers, wells even, because they're Dragon King, well Dragon King, stream Dragon King, river Dragon King, ocean Dragon King, everywhere. They all belong to the Dragon clan. And my brother Xiaoguang also said that he is also from the Dragon clan. So he shares it with everybody. So that's my answer. And the Tibetans also have this. And back then, Nagarjuna Bodhisattva also belongs to the Dragon clan, or Dragon race. Longzun Zunwangfo, the Buddha of the Dragon clan. Because Nagarjuna was invited to the Dragon King Palace, and the sutras in the Dragon Palace more than those in the Saha world by 4/3. So that would be 130% more in the Dragon Palace. So Nagarjuna was invited to go to the Dragon Palace to read the sutras there. Let me share a few jokes. The husband gives the wife $520 red packet, which meant "I love you." And the wife gives the husband 5.20 red packet to the husband, and with the point is like a little bit more in Chinese. So the wife was amazing. When the classmates just graduated, okay, brothers, we'll meet again a year later. Oh, brothers, now we all have wives. Oh, this is Chinese. This is a hammer form in Chinese. And then
后悔以后又有妻，最后呢？
brothers in the future will have abandoned. And yeah, these are all play of words of Chinese. Like, I think about it. And then you abandon your wife, so you get your wife again, and then you regret that you have a wife. The wife asks the husband, "You don't love me anymore?" And the husband said, How can I not? And the wife said, when you were courting me, your eyes were like 100-watt lights, was electrifying. And now, have you used up all your electricity? And the husband said, oh, now I am on a safe battery mode. And the wife, but you just saw my friend, and then I could see the electricity was in full charge. And the husband said, oh, I was using, that's the warning light to warn her that I have a wife.
刚才有人笑话说我混了那么多年。
Someone joked me that after for so many years that I still have no money, and this also is not the Chinese hope form. It's like become wrinkles. So you have the mark. That's the commander mark. This is the fishtail mark lines. And then there's in between brows, the lines between brows. So saying not having any money, actually like not having any lines, but actually there are lots of lines on the face because you're growing old. Those with the dog zodiac is having difficulty finding a girlfriend, because if you got a girlfriend with the red zodiac, then it would be like the dog. It's another area. And if it's a Chinese zodiac, a rooster, then it would be you can have a quiet, and then another one with the dog zodiac, then it would be like a dog and a bitch, something like that. During an exam, the teacher said, so take away everything unrelated to the exam. And I asked Xiaoming, how come you still have the cheat sheet? Because this is related. This is related to the exam, because you asked me to take away things unrelated to the exam, but the cheat sheet is related. Who doesn't lie? Pizza. Oh, this is another Chinese word. Today I don't feel well. I take the day off and resting at home, and tell the wife it doesn't matter who's looking for me, just tell them that I'm not home. And then he fell asleep and the phone rang, and the wife got the phone and said, oh yeah, my husband is at home. And he heard that and got really angry. Didn't I tell you? Just to tell them. that I'm not home. Oh, they're not looking for you.
Tom 在小学任教，长得人高马大，威风凛凛。
Tom is working at the elementary school. It's tall and handsome and good looking, but always started when he's nervous. And then he saw Xiaoming was cheating in class one day, and then he was you dare to cheat, and then stand up, and then 5 of them all stood up. He was asking one person to stand up, but because he started, he said, you, stood up, and all 5 of them stood up. Inadvertently, a young man found a great master. Master, I found myself look really horrible. How should I face myself? And Tassa said, and the great master said, come with me, and brought him to see a mountain. And the young man said, so are you trying to tell me by asking me to see the mountain that my mind should be stable like the mountain and not be affected by the mundane views? And the great master said, have you considered becoming ordained and hide deep in the mountains and not to shock people? Oh, money, bear me home.